welcome. We are glad you are here, Gabrielle and Brenda, on behalf of the School Leaders faculty. We are offering a series of orientation information sessions, and that's what this evening is all about, to share information and to address questions about the Educational Leadership Doctoral Program. And to see if we can help with those of you here who are interested in applying. We are beginning a new cohort next fall, and so the admissions process would begin this spring. And so we are glad you're here. Next slide, please. We are going to be introducing ourselves momentarily, so I'm not forgetting that, but we wanted to start by just saying a word about our vision, mission, and values. This really addresses our why we are here, what matters to us, what's important to us. And without reading it all, you can, if you get a chance to scan it, that we are looking to, in some way, contribute to making the world a better place, and shaping a better world that promotes human dignity, and that there's a set of values that we hold dearly, integrity, fairness, and of course, always in the pursuit of knowledge. And so as you think about entering our program, to know that this is kind of the backdrop, the foundation for how we have constructed our curriculum, and hopefully in the ways that we engage with each other, with all of this as kind of a motivator as to why we show up. Okay, next slide. All right, so we are going to take a moment and introduce ourselves, the four of us who are here with you this evening, as well as also we'll just name others who are not able to join us but are an important part of our department. And so our department chair is Dr. Robert Shockley. He's been with us for a number of years, and he also teaches in the program, so you would have an opportunity to engage with Dr. Shockley, both in his role as department chair and also in the search process. And importantly, also, he's in the classroom and chairs doctoral committees as well. Okay, Dr. Barakat, who is with us tonight, I'll turn it over to you, Dr. Mesa.
Welcome. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today. We're excited to share our program with you. So I'm Maisa Barakat. I'm a professor at the School Leaders Program and the Educational Leadership and Research Methodology Department. And I've been with FAU for 11 years now. I started in 2014. And I received my Ph.D. and my master's in educational leadership from Auburn University. And prior to that, I was a school leader in international settings. And my research focuses on preparation programs and specifically preparing culturally competent educational leaders. I do have a very deep interest in international education and leadership preparation in international settings. And I pursue that work through multiple roles. I am the FAU coordinator for a partnership with Egypt. And I'm also the associate director for international initiatives for the University Council for Educational Administration. And that's it for now.
Thank you. Welcome. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So my name is Pat Mazin-Ostrowski, and I'm a professor here in the department. I think I've got longevity on everyone here. So I've been around to watch the growth of our college and university, and I think that you are joining us at a very exciting time in terms of how we have configured our program. My research interest is looking at the school leader as an individual. I'm particularly interested in the human dimensions. So when I envision an organization like a school or a system, that's obviously very important, but I tend to move down to what does it mean to be the leader, and how does who you are, your identity, help you to deal with the crises and challenges that leaders are facing on a daily basis, and more so every day, certainly as our social political climate continues to change. And I teach Virtually, I've taught all of the courses, many of them in one way or another, but chances are, if you join our program, I would be your faculty member. I might be your faculty member for the qualitative research methodology courses, and the modes of inquiry course. So I'll turn it over to Dr. Mountford.
Hi, I'm Dr. Meredith Mountford. I'm an associate professor. I've been at FAU. This is my 20th year. Um, I study the superintendency, school boards, and education policy. Um, and I also run the UCEA Center for Research on the Superintendency and District Governance through UCEA. And I will turn it over to Dr. Reyes Guerra.
Oh,
You're
we're
not
Hi,
mute,
let me
Dr.
muted.
repeat.
Landscape.
Thank you, Dr. Mountford. I'm Daniel Reyes Guerra. Welcome, Brenda, and welcome, Gabrielle. I have been at FAU since the fall of 2002, and I got my doctorate at FAU, and then continued on to become an assistant professor, and now I'm a full professor in the department. I am the school leaders coordinator, so I helped to coordinate this Ph.D. program with my fellow colleagues that you see here, and I also coordinate the master's programs that you probably are familiar with, Exec, Excel, Propel, and Ideal. I think maybe Gabrielle or Brenda or both of you might have gone to those programs, so you might be familiar with us on the master's level. On top of that, I am the executive director of the Center of the Office of Educational Leadership Learning, which is our professional development arm. So we offer services to districts across the country and in Florida to help districts to improve student learning. I mean, that's our goal. And I have my Eaton research interests include looking at university district partnerships, school effectiveness, school leadership team effectiveness, and recently I can say both Dr. Mountford and I have been very interested in artificial intelligence and its impact um, on school leadership and learning. So it's my pleasure to see both of you. Welcome, and we'll continue.
Thank you, Dr. Escara. So as you can start to get a sense, we have a strong core of faculty. And when you join a doctoral program, it's about a lot of different factors, but the essence and the most crucial part, in my view, is the people who you are engaging with, i.e. the faculty. And while this is a state university, we have a national and international reputation, and scholars who are highly respected. So that would be who you would have the opportunity to work with and study with if you end up joining us. The faces you see in front of us are our first class faculty, our clinical faculty who lead the master's and certification program, the programs that Dr. Reyes Guerra was just talking about, those partnership programs, which is one of the distinguishing features about our department and our program. And interestingly, 3 out of the 4 people you see here are actually graduates of the FAU doctoral program. And occasionally, when we have such a gem among us, we are able to get them to stay on and continue as part of our faculty. And as you might be thinking in terms of your own career aspirations, there are many different reasons people choose this degree. But one of the reasons is for those of you, if either of you are interested in actually going into the higher education route of maybe leaving school leaders and becoming a member of the academic community. That's one of the pathways that our students might choose.
You know, I just want to add one little thing, which is, the 4 of them all are involved with districts everywhere from Osceola down to Miami-Dade. And the nice thing about having these programs is it will give our doctoral students many times access to be able to do research in those districts at a much higher level than other programs in the state, because we actually have memos of understanding and partnerships with these districts. So that can be very helpful.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then in addition to that, FAU has a laboratory school, the Henderson School, which is another opportunity for our doctoral students who want to do research either at the K-12 level or the bridging of between higher ed and schools because of the unique programs that are there. Two very important people you see in front of you if you join our program. You want to get to know Kathy and Sunny. They're both people who are steadfast, are anchors. They're there every day on site. And really what they want to do is help you and facilitate your success in any way that they can. Okay, next slide. Okay, what we're going to show you now is sort of the hit parade of some of the many stars who have graduated from the FAU doctoral program. We are very proud to have been a part of producing high flyers in our local area, in our major districts in Florida, as well as across the country. And I'm not sure where you are from, our guest tonight, but this is just a sampling of some of the people who have graduated and the careers they've gone on to achieve, being a deputy superintendent, a director of research, and another deputy superintendent. And you'll begin to see people in different locations, not just Broward and Palm Beach, but the broader area. Some folks who have gone off independently. Portland Public Schools, that's a bit a ways off. Broward County, we've got strong presence, of course, in our service areas, but beyond as well.
Oops.
Yeah, no, oh yeah, and Leo and Adam, again, people who have, graduated a number of years back and have moved on to district level, top level kinds of positions. And among the beauty of that is, as you were hearing from Dr. Reyes-Guerra before, this is networking, that we have connections at different levels now because of how many years this program has been going on, of folks that will become resources for you if you were to choose to come to our program. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit moving closer to the curriculum and the scaffolding and the different ways that we go about creating a learning experience for you. And Dr. Mountford's going to pick up here now.
Our learning is the teaching and learning is primarily to enhance your professional knowledge, but we also integrate the theoretical perspectives. So pay close attention to remembering that you are in practice. Many of you are leaders already in your own right. So not only do we work on the theory, but we also do practitioner-based sort of research in the classroom. Okay. You can develop your skills by studying with nationally renowned scholars. We've seen a few, but we just all returned from Puerto Rico, where we were at a national conference called UCEA. I have a role with UCEA, so does Dr. Barakat. But we don't just attend, we bring a class of PhD students with us. And this year we had several students presenting at the conference, which was really, really nice. Just other professional opportunities, Dr. Pat already mentioned about the networking across different districts. We advocate for student success and become strong, that you become a strong transformational leader. And as teach and serve, many of our students who graduate become adjuncts in the program. Generally, there are 80 credits that are required. And then you can see the breakdown of the different leadership foundation courses, research foundation, professional knowledge, the experiential component, one of which is the UCEA conference that we just returned from. And then there are 20 credits of dissertation. And I'll turn this over to Dr. Bearcat.
All right. So thank you, Dr. Mountford. And building on the information that was provided so far, like Dr. Pat mentioned at the beginning, and I couldn't agree more with her notion that the program really is the most important element in the program is the people. And she mentioned your instructors and your advisors. I also would like to mention your cohort, your colleagues. So this program follows a cohort model. So you're going to be moving through the courses with a group of selected educators who will go through a rigorous selection process, as you will learn more about the process in towards the end of the presentation. But the courses, the program is set in a way that it's sequenced so that the courses kind of like built on each other so that your knowledge base grows and is scaffolded as you move forward. So there are foundational courses that are not part of the degree, which you can see them here. So lead 1, lead 2, and lead 3, adult learning, theory and assessment, and administrative processes. These courses are usually covered in a master's program, whether it's outside of FAU or at FAU. So these don't count towards your 80 credit hours that Dr. Mountford mentioned, but are necessary for you to be able to pursue the next level of courses. There are required foundational courses within the PhD program itself, which are Leadership 5, Reframing Organizations, and that's an organizational theory course, basically to get you like an insider view into how organizations successfully work. And then Leadership 6 is a seminar in executive leadership. So these are like, if you look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, these are leadership courses that are necessary and foundational courses for the program. Next, thank you. And then we have a very strong focus on research within your PhD program, and that kind of what distinguishes a PhD from a master's is that heavy focus on research. And as you can see, there's a balance of quantitative and qualitative research methods offered. So there's an advanced statistics course, an introduction to qualitative and an advanced qualitative inquiry. There's an introduction to modes of inquiry, which is like innovative and creative approaches to research. There's a measurement course that is more quantitative in nature. And then the advanced research is where you engage in doing a literature review for your dissertation topic. And then the advanced educational research, EDF 7482, this is where you develop your proposal for your dissertation. The professional knowledge courses, we have a requirement of 21 credits. When you start the program, the very first course that you're going to take is Context of Educational Administration, and this is a course that will introduce you to the context of educational leadership. The research, you know, who's who, how to navigate the program, how to navigate being a researcher in educational leadership. School improvement comes later in the program, and the title is a bit deceiving because it really doesn't focus on school improvement as perceived in a master's program, right? Like you know, school improvement plan, and so it looks more at a reform and national and systemic level of improvement for schools. And then there's an ethics and policy alternatives course, educational leadership foundations, where you look at the main schools of thought, psychology, sociology, philosophy of education. And then finally, there is the seminar in school administration, which kind of could differ based on the professor who's teaching it. Plus, there are 6 hours, 2 more courses of electives. So depending on the topic that you're going to be interested in researching, in collaboration with your advisor, you can select from within the program, within the school leaders program, or from the department, or even from the College of Education. You can select 2 courses that would extend your knowledge. And then the experiential component, this is I think this is the most powerful learning experiences that our students go through. The first one is action learning, and this is a 6 credit hour course that extends over the spring and the summer. So it starts in the spring and ends in the summer. And this is actually a course where it's a culminating course. So it's towards the end of your program. Once you've finished all your coursework and you have the necessary knowledge base, then you get the opportunity to apply everything that you learned. So you work with your group, with a set, as consultants, and we collaborate with districts. It's not as the same district every time. Every round we collaborate with the district, whether it's Broward, Palm Beach, Osceola, and they identify a problem of practice that's important to them. And then it's on the set, the group, you and your colleagues, to act as the consultants, explore the problem, find the reasons for the problem, the real reasons, right? The root causes, come up with the literature that supports the topic that you're looking at, and then collect data and analyze data, and then come up with findings and conclusions and recommendations. So that's a really very powerful learning experience. And then, like Dr. Mountford mentioned previously, there's the research conference. This is an excellent opportunity where you go actually attend sessions for people who, like scholars who you cite. You might be able you might be even referencing them in your dissertation or in any research that you're doing. So you get to see them in action. We make an effort to introduce you to whoever is relevant to your topic. But also, by attending these conferences, you are afforded opportunities for professional growth, especially for people who want to pursue a career as professors. You can join the Student Council of UCA. You can apply for scholarship like Jackson Scholar and Clark Scholar. Lots of opportunities that will help put your career as a prospective researcher on steroids, right? These are really excellent opportunities and are also very powerful learning opportunities. And then you can, if you can't do the conference, then you are afforded the opportunity to select another independent study with your advisor. And then the dissertation is 20 credit hours. And with this cohort model, you will see a very clear focus on the dissertation from the very first class. So we make a deliberate and intentional effort to get you started thinking about your topic, your dissertation topic that you're going to finish after you conclude your coursework, but you start thinking about the problem, the literature that the problem is informed by, and so on. So within many of the courses, you will find an element, an assignment, a major assignment that really requires for you to work on your dissertation. The purpose is that by the time you are done with your coursework, you do have a solid concept paper that you can submit as your comprehensive exam. And once you pass that, once your concept paper is accepted, then you become a PhD candidate. After that, you develop your dissertation committee, you select the dissertation chair, and with your dissertation chair, you select 2 other members at least. You can have an additional 4th member of your dissertation committee. And after that, once you have your committee, you work on a proposal, which is your chapters 1, 2, and 3 of your dissertation. Dissertation is 5 chapters, so you will have 3 of them ready. And you defend that proposal in front of your committee. And once that's approved, then you start collecting data. You get your IRB and you collect your data, and you write your findings, and then you become a published researcher with data and findings and everything. Now it sounds a bit overwhelming, but we do it one bird at a time, and it's bit by bit you will be able to accomplish all of that and meaningfully contribute to the educational leadership discipline as a researcher and as a thinker and as a person who has, the necessary expertise as a professional as well.
So I just have to say, you did a wonderful job, Dr. Barakat. You had a lot to cover there. But what Dr. Barakat's described is, it's important for you to understand that getting your doctorate, after you've gone through all the coursework that she's described, and then that dissertation that she just described, that's really the culminating part. We're giving you all the tools, research tools, literature, foundational knowledge, so that you can then, with one of us as your chair, build a dissertation that's going to give you that PhD at the end of your name. So remember, that's always, you hear a lot about this in doctoral programs, how people are faced with a dissertation. We really feel strongly that it's our job to make you as comfortable and well prepared as possible, so that sliding into that dissertation is an easy thing for you to experience, and really have your goals set so that you can get through the dissertation as quickly as possible. So I'm going to now talk about the admissions requirements. Really easy. You just have to have a minimum GPA of 3 from either your master's or specialist degree, a demonstration of scholarship skills, and once we've gone through your paperwork, you will be asked, if you qualify, we will be asking you to come in and interview with us. And so it's important to understand that between now, if based on this and further information that you want to apply for this program, between now and then, when you get called in for an interview, which will usually take place in April or May, part of your job is to really be looking at what it is that we offer, what is it that you want to study, what is it that the faculty that you're meeting today and other faculty in our department turns you on in terms of studying and research, so that you can ask us questions at that interview to clarify what it is that you're about to embark on in our program. So once you've handed in all that paperwork, to be specific, the paperwork is an essay, a professional resume, and the names and emails of 3 references, and an email address. All of that goes to the graduate college. So they take all of that. It's like an automatic system. You go in and you upload all of this stuff, and then it comes to us. So your first step is to move forward with the graduate college and get all of that stuff in. Then, and by the way, we'll be sending you a copy of this PowerPoint so you can review it and you can grab any of these links that you find. One of the things that we always have to stress is, because of the way Florida Atlantic works, you have to have the institution that you graduated from send the transcripts in a sealed envelope, not to you, but to this address, so that they get it in a sealed envelope. They're sticky about that. So just be aware that when it comes time to apply, you are contacting your previous institution and telling them where to send the transcript. So once the application is finished, you've paid your application fee and they've got their transcripts, then we go through it, and those who have a favorable review will get invited in to have an interview. And just so you know, when you get contacted, um, Kathy Du Bois is the person who does this. She will set you up for an interview, but she will also um, ask you to do a timed writing sample. You'll be given like a day, I believe, to actually write up based on a prompt so that we get a more recent and targeted writing sample as a part of the process. So there's her email and her phone number, and if you can't get through there, there's another email and phone number that you can call as you're doing that. Then financial aid. If you're interested in financial aid, for graduate students in our program, these are usually those federal loans that are offered. There are scholarships that are also offered. The financial aid office will lead you to them, but if you go to our website, there is also this link right here that will show you what are the awards and fellowships and other things that are available for graduate students. There are new requirements for financial aid that will come into effect because of the BBBOO, the big beautiful bill. I can't remember what the other letters stand for, but the Trump administration has changed some of the requirements. However, you're still eligible to get those loans. It just has a cap. I think right now for our graduate students is a cap of 20,000 a year and 100,000 for the entire program. So what are the costs? Well, for the 60 credit hours, based on the in-state tuition right now, it's $22,309.20. And that includes all the fees and everything else. And then you can add to that an additional 7 for the 20 hours of dissertation credit. But I've left you here with this link so you can always double check to see if they've changed the tuition and fees. I don't believe they're going to do that. So that looks pretty much solid in terms of what you would be needing to spend for the 4 or 5 years that you're going to be in a program. So I know it sounds like a big chunk of change, but when you spread it out over 5 years, it's palatable. And we're the cheapest in the state. So of the state universities, we are the cheapest. And we are one of the few that actually does a full individual dissertation. So our focus really is on creating scholar practitioners. You will graduate from this program as a scholar who could easily be hired by a university as an assistant professor, but at the same time, as a practitioner who's going to know her stuff and be able to rise up the ranks, like the examples we showed you, within your district or within your organization, wherever you are. A little note here is if you've ever had a student teacher in your classroom and supervise them, you are actually eligible for certificates that will give you 6 credit hours a semester. So even while you're in the program, you could actually have a student teacher with you. Or if you're an assistant principal or principal, if you have one of our students that are going through one of our master's programs and you are their supervisor, you're also eligible for those 6 credit hours. And Kathy can tell you more about that, but many of our students use those certificates to pay for their tuition. So that's something to keep in mind. It's funny because a lot of people don't know that, and we try to emphasize it now because it's a great way to pay for part of your tuition going through the doctoral program. On this slide, you're going to have the emails of all of the faculty that you've been presented with today. So you can check that out whenever you want to get in touch with them. And for further information, we've put up these two links for the program. So not too bad. We did this in 35 minutes. I know it was a lot, and I'll tell you right now that one of the things that we really try to do as professors is not talk for 35 minutes straight without interaction with our students. So what you've experienced now, hopefully you will never experience as you go through the program. So I guess at this point, I don't know what my peers think, but I'm thinking we can just open it up for questions that you might have now about our program.
My name's Gabrielle. I actually am part of the educational leadership program at FAU right now, and I'm graduating next week. So with the master's program, and I work with Dr. Mays is my advisor. She's fabulous, like you said. She's a wonderful person. This is a lot of great information. I personally don't have any questions right now, but it's just pursuing my PhD has just been something that's been on my heart, and it's more information, and I feel like it's the next step for me to progress through. So that's the path I'm looking to pursue.
Well, that's great. And you know what you experience with Dr. Mays, that's the kind of quality of faculty that we strive to have and maintain here at FAU. So I'm glad your experience has been a positive one.
Definitely, definitely has. Thank you.
And congratulations, you're about to graduate. That's great.
Yes, thank you. I'm very excited about that. My stole is in the background right here. My hood is over in the far corner there, so I'm really excited for that.
That's great.
Yes. So just a comment to follow up, Gabrielle, and I'm not sure if our other guest tonight's familiar, but the format that you are accustomed to with the program you're in now carries over to the doctoral program. So in other words, our doctoral program is all synchronous on Zoom. And so it's always interactive.
Sign.
And to know that we also have the Saturday executive track model as well. And so as you think about joining the program, it's a commitment, yet another commitment, not only to a number of years, but also as you go through the first few years of coursework, that our core courses are typically offered in an executive track, which means they meet on Saturdays all day. And so you would take two courses during the day on Saturdays, meaning spread out over one course, first half, the second course, the second half. And even sometimes as a doctoral student, there might be a third course that bridges that during the week, or maybe one of the experiential courses. So that's part of the commitment as you think about whether this is the right time for you to join the program.